Hey guys, welcome back to another lesson. This one is going to be Hey Pretty Girl by Kip Moore. It's in C tuning, meaning the guitar is tuned 2 full steps down, and you put a capo on the 2nd fret of the A, D, G, B, and E strings. So this song has a total of 7 verses, and they're all played a little bit differently from each other, but using the same basic chords. So you're going to use a D suspended 2nd chord, a variation of a B minor 7, a D over F sharp, G suspended 2nd, and then an A suspended 4th. So starting with that intro, get yourself set up for a D suspended 2nd chord, 3rd fret B string, 2nd fret G string, and you're going to pluck an open E, B, G, E, B. And you repeat that 4 times. And that's how you play the intro. One more time slower. And then you move on to the verse. Now there are 7 verses in this song, and each one is a little bit different from the one before it. So I'm going to break this up into parts, and then when I teach you the other verses, I'm going to tell you which part to change. So this will be verse 1, part 1, and it's actually played just like the intro, so you already know it. So part 2 is going to be that B minor 7th chord. So just put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, keep your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and keep your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're going to do a similar picking pattern. So it's going to be the A string on the 2nd fret, and then 3rd fret B, 2nd fret G, 2nd fret A, B, and then repeat. Again, 4 times. Move on to part 3. Now part 3 switches up a little bit, so I'm going to show you how to play it and then tell you how to play it. Now the third part of the verse starts with an A suspended 4th chord. So what I do is I put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B strings, and use my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're going to pluck A, B, G, A, B. So same picking pattern as before, but now you switch to the D over F sharp chord. So then you just move your index finger to the 2nd fret of the E string, middle finger goes to the 2nd fret of the G string, and your ring finger goes to the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're going to pluck E, B. And then you switch to a G suspended 2nd chord, and that chord is going to be 3rd fret E string, your middle finger, 2nd fret G string with your index, and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you're going to pluck E, B, G, E, B. And then you actually play that one more time at the end. And then end on the 3rd fret of the E string one more time. One more time slow. Again, on that last note, let it ring out a little bit. Now on a part 4, it'll sound like this. So you start with an A major chord, and I just use my index finger to bar the D, G, and B strings, and I'm going to pluck the A and B strings at the same time, and then hammer onto the 3rd fret with my ring finger of the B string. Then I pluck the 2nd fret of the G string, after that an open E, and then I'm going to pluck B, G, E, B, and then go back to the A major chord. So you take your ring finger off of the 3rd fret and then pluck A, B, G, A, B. So the first verse will sound like this. Now part 1 and part 2 of the 2nd verse is played just like part 1 and 2 of verse 1. It's the 3rd part of the 2nd verse that switches. So you start out part 3 the same way you did in the original one with that A suspended 4th chord. You're going to pluck A, B, G, A, B, and then you're going to switch to the D over F sharp, and again pluck E, B, and then you switch to a variation of a G suspended 2nd chord, but in the first one you had your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now you just take that off and leave the B string open and do the same picking pattern. So part 3 of the 2nd verse should sound like this. Now part 4 of the 2nd verse is also a little bit different. It uses a few different hammer-ons, so it's going to sound like this. So you start off with the A major with the hammer-on like you did before. But after you get to that part, you're going to switch to a B minor 7th chord, and you're going to pluck the open A string and hammer onto the 2nd fret of the A string, and then pluck B, G, A, B. And then you're going to pluck an open E string and hammer onto the 2nd fret, pluck the B string, and then hammer on from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret of the E string, and then pluck the B string again, and then go back to an open E and do the D suspended 2nd chord shape and pluck E, B, G, E, B, and then one more time. So all together. Alright, now we're on verse number 3, which is played just like the first verse, except for the last part is different. So part 4 is different than part 4 of the first verse. And it's just going to sound like this. Simple as that. So what you're going to do is just do the A major chord with the hammer on, 2nd fret G, and then pluck E, B, G, E, B, E, B, G, E, B. And that's it. Alright, now we're going to do the chorus, and it's going to sound like this. So for the chorus, you start with an A suspended 4th chord. You're going to pluck open A, B, G, A, B, and then you're going to pluck the 3rd fret of the E string, 3rd fret B string, and then pluck an open E string, and then do the D suspended 2nd chord. So you do it twice. To a D over F sharp and pluck E, B, G, E, B, and then you pluck the 3rd fret of the E string, and then pluck 3rd fret B string, and then again open E, and then finish off that D suspended 2nd chord twice. So the first 2 parts that I just showed you. Now the second part of the chorus, you start just like you did with the first, and you do the A suspended 4th, move to the 3rd fret of the E string, pluck the 3rd fret of the B string, but then you switch to a B minor 7th chord, and then you pluck the 2nd fret of the A string, 3rd fret B, 2nd fret G, 2nd fret A, 3rd fret B, and then you do it again. And then you switch to a G suspended 2nd chord and you play that picking pattern 3 times. And after that third time, you're going to pluck the 3rd fret of the E again, 3rd fret B, and then you're going to pluck an open A and hammer on to the 2nd fret of the A string, and then pluck the 3rd fret of the B string again. So the second half of the chord should sound like this. And then you move on to the 4th verse. Now verse 4 is played just like verse 1 with the exception of the first part. The first part of verse 4 is going to sound like this. So all I'm doing here is using that D suspended 2nd chord, and I'm plucking it just like I did before. I do it twice, and then I just pull my middle finger off of the 3rd fret of the B string. That way I'm just barring the 2nd fret of the G and B strings. And then I pluck that once. And then I put my middle finger back on the 3rd fret of the B string and then finish out the last one. So and that's the only difference in the 4th verse. Now for verse 5, it's played just like verse 2, except for the ending. The ending sounds like this. So that last part, I'm just using that A chord that we've been using at the end of each verse, doing the hammer on to the 3rd fret, and then plucking E, B, G, E, B, and then I start one more time, E, B, G, and then I pluck A, and then pull my ring finger off the 3rd fret of the B string and pluck the 2nd fret of the B string. And that's the only difference there. Next part up is the 2nd chorus, and it just ends a little bit differently. You just keep playing that G suspended 2nd chord. That's the only difference there. The last verse of the song is played pretty similar to the 4th and 6th verse, and it's just played a little bit softer. The whole thing is going to sound like this. So like I said, the first 3 parts are played pretty similar to the 4th and 6th verse. It's just the last part that you do that A suspended 4th hammer on. You let it ring out for a second, and then you do a D suspended chord and just slowly strum down on the strings. And that'll end the song. Now guys, I know this video jumped around a lot and it might have been confusing, but I'm going to make another video where I'm playing the verses just like they're supposed to be played and then a little bit slower, but I'm going to break them down in each part. So verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. That way you don't have to go back and think, okay, which part was this? And so on, because it was confusing to make, but I didn't know how to break it down any simpler. So use that next video to your advantage. And as always guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any more suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comment box down below. Like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.